Joining us, of course, she covers the Utes for KSLSports.com. She is Michelle Bodkin. Hi, Michelle.
Hey, guys. How are ya?
Doing well. Michelle, before I criticize college basketball, because that's the thing that I do, what were your takeaways from last night's game between Utah and Arizona?
You know, I think it was just more proof that this Utah team kind of has turned a corner. I think they still have some things they need to work on, some things they need to get better at. The primary thing being the free throw shooting. 10 of 21 is kind of inexcusable. But, they took this team by the head and had a chance to win it. So that, was an interesting thing to watch. I thought it was a good development. But again, there's still some work to do. There's still some things that they need to work on and improve, but I think they're kind of on track and they're on pace. So it was a great game. It was actually fun to be courtside and kind of taking pictures and videos and posting stuff online and giving people kind of a real feel for, what that game was like. And triple overtime is pretty crazy. So I think, you know what, like maybe we need to just have a camera in my hand at all times because crazy things happen.
What's curious, especially since you obviously saw them close, courtside, no big deal. I'm curious to your take on Arizona, the lone seemingly good team in the Pac-12.
They definitely looked the part coming off the bus. And Craig Smith has talked a lot about, they're very athletic. Of course, they're good, but he has talked about the difference maker for them this year is that they're probably the best they've ever been defensively. And then, the thing about it is, their Achilles heel is kind of being on the road, but you look across the country at all of the different, teams, and everybody's kind of struggling to get wins on the road this season, maybe a little bit more so than in years past. So it's not exactly something you can fault them for. I mean, you look at Utah, and Utah's having issues getting road wins even. So, but I think they're an impressive bunch. They have a lot of guys that can, score. Pele Larson felt like he just was unstoppable at certain points during that game. And that I think they probably are by far and away the best team in the Pac-12, and then kind of who's behind them, it's a little bit of a question mark.
Utah women looked like they were, kind of back and had figured it out after the early season injuries to Gianna Neepkins. They beat USC, they beat UCLA. They got hammered by Oregon State, and now they get a rematch with Oregon State tonight in a big game, again, at the Huntsman Center. How good is Oregon State, and where's the Utah women's basketball team?
Yeah, I think this Oregon State team is pretty good. I think some things have started to click for them, and they're feeling very confident, and they hit Utah at the right time. There was kind of a combination of things that went into that game for the Utah women that resulted in them kind of getting hammered the way that they did. I don't think anybody would have necessarily blinked if they had lost. The shocking thing was the number to which they lost. But, Lynn Roberts kind of explained it, they had played UCLA that Monday, so it was a short week. You kind of struggled. It was a very emotional, and that was a very emotional win. Then you turn and go to Oregon. It's not the cleanest game you've ever played, but kind of another emotional road win, another big milestone for the team, 1,000th win in program history. And then in between that, several members of your team begin to get sick. You're obviously fatigued from playing 2 games prior, and you're facing a team that's feeling all the confidence because they had just been a very good Colorado team a couple days before. and, had an opportunity to knock off a really good Utah team, and they took it. So it was just kind of a recipe for disaster in a way, but as any coach will tell you, no one cares. They only care that you get the job done, and Utah didn't get the job done for a myriad of reasons. And so now they're hosting this team again. They're still confident that Oregon State team, and I think they're starting to get a real feel for who they are as a team, kind of the same way that I think Utah's getting a real feel for who they are as a team without Gianna Neepkins in the lineup. And I think it's going to make for a really interesting rematch. And I expect it to be another really, really good game tonight in the Hunty.
Michelle, it's pretty incredible how signing day has just fallen off the relevance radar because of the early signing period and how wild the transfer portal is and all that. But the Ute class was finalized. So what did we learn? What are we taking away? What was important?
Yeah, Wednesday didn't matter at all to Utah. They already had everybody in line that they were planning on signing. So no one new popped up. It was maybe just, collecting the last couple of letters. But no surprises, nothing to sit and watch or wait for, or any shockers or anything like that, which, as you mentioned, super unusual, but starting to kind of become a lot more of the norm. And so, yeah, kind of a boring day. But, Utah did a really good job again, I think, identifying and signing guys that they needed and really wanted. Between Isaac Wilson, several of the transfers, getting guys like Dorian Singer in the mix is a big deal. And I think should go a long way to improving the product that Utah puts out on the field in 2024. And, I think the next really big day for Utah in terms of roster management is going to be when the spring portal opens up. There's obviously going to be some guys that will once again kind of hit the portal and leave. And, I'm already being told that there's some whisperings as far as, guys that are interested in potentially transferring into the program at that point. So that's where the interest is going to come from. That's where the next interesting moves are going to be made. It was never going to be this second signing day.
Who you got in the Super Bowl, Michelle?
I really want the 49ers to pull it off, but I kind of think Kansas City's probably the better team.
Oh, I just wish they both could lose. It'd be so much better.
Oh no.
Don't worry. I dislike way more teams than I like. So the chances of me ending up with two teams I dislike in the Super Bowl is actually quite high.
So who do you like?
Oh, pretty much no one. It's just like my personal life.
Oh, okay.
No,
right.
I don't know. I don't have a team in the NFL. Do you have a team in the NFL, Ben? I have teams I like more than others.
No, I like players. It's boring.
Yeah, I don't know. But I love the NFL. I just don't have like I'm a this
team.
or I'm a that. I tried to kind of embrace the Raiders because I think it's cool they're in Vegas, but God, they're the worst run franchise on the planet. I don't know how anyone's a Raiders fan.
I grew up a Packers fan and a little bit of a 49ers fan, but my fandom has really kind of decreased, and it's more about I'm more interested in the guys that I used to cover that have made it to that next level.
No, I would love for the Packers to succeed with Jordan Love. Like on that note, a Packers not a franchise I've historically disliked, and Jordan Love, a local player I'd like to see succeed. So yeah, I'll jump on board with the Packers. See, but the Niners and the Broncos, we were just force-fed so much around here when I was growing up as a kid. I just wanted to watch anybody else. I find the Chiefs and their fans incredibly aggravating. So yeah, I'm not on board. I'm gonna force myself to watch.
Okay. Well, I'm sure there's probably a line for the earth cracking open and just swallowing up both teams, and no one wins.
That's what I'm cheering for.
Boy, what a disaster that would be.
And here's the thing: I'm not even going to like a party this year. The year I'd actually like to go to a party because I don't want to watch the game. I'm just going to be at home.
Well, boo.
Don't feel bad for me, Michelle. You strike me as somebody that would find a good Super Bowl party.
I have no plans this year. I'm probably just watching it at home. But on occasion, I found a good Super Bowl party here and there.
All right, we can't all be like Ben and just have parties coming out of our ears. I mean, Ben's like turning down Super Bowl parties, like invite-only things. Yeah, he's doing it all. He's really plugged in. Michelle, we appreciate you and all of your great work. We follow it very closely at KSLSports.com, and we appreciate you jumping on with us on Fridays.
No problem. Thanks for always having me.
You're the best, Michelle. Appreciate you. Michelle Bodkin covers the Utes for KSLSports.com.